Hey guys, this is Brandon Dyke from Guitar Theory Mastery. Guitar Theory Mastery is going to be a YouTube channel that I'm developing that's going to help fill in the blanks to any music theory crisis you may be under. I hope to just bring you lots of clarity through the questions that you might have if you're online constantly trying to put things together. Um, I believe that what I have to offer will help you in a tremendous way be able to build a foundation from the ground up of all your music theory that you've looked at so far. Um, I'm not going to make a list of what we're going to talk about because we're going to talk about everything. I have a policy that's no student left behind. So I love to teach music theory. And when I do work with music theory with students, I want to sit there and have a blank piece of paper and I want to get the vocabulary right. I want to work through every single math problem that might be there. I find that when students really know the vocabulary and the math of music theory, it's easy and they start with the application with a lot more confidence. We're also going to be building the application of music theory in two different ways. We're going to be building it from a vertical perspective, which would be from all six strings in one position. And we'll also build it from the horizontal approach, which is pretty much going to be from the headstock all the way up to the bridge, right? And there's probably not that many frets right there in between the end of the fretboard and the bridge. But we're going to work on all of that to be able to apply music theory and be very confident with it. I think for me, music theory helps me a lot in the area of picking the right notes at the right time. Also, it helps me with developing my own guitar style because I think a lot of times I can just sit there and go, okay, here's the notes of this chord, and I can use ornamentation and slides and bends and pull-offs and tapping and all those guitar things that we love to create a lick that's right in the moment of the music that I'm doing. Now, I know that you guys all know that I love Rush and I love Eric Johnson and the list goes on of players I could say that I've studied. And you should do that. You should definitely study players to the point where you can play what they play. However, I think there becomes a point where you have to really find your own angle. You have to find how are you going to create guitar phrases in the moment over any chord progression. I think that's the right thing to ask yourself. So I'm very excited to bring you guys this channel soon. I will definitely keep you updated. And if you want to join my roster as a online guitar student, I would love to work with you right now too. I'm on Skype, I'm on Zoom, I'm on FaceTime. If you need any guitar lesson needs, whatever you want style-wise, we can work on. From classical, rock, jazz, blues, funk, metal, whatever you guys want to work on, I would be happy to be your guitar teacher as well. So let's just say this, with Guitar Theory Mastery, we're going to be really detailed about looking at the notes of the fretboard and knowing them. And then we're going to be looking at the notes of chords and we're going to be memorizing those notes. We're going to be looking at those spellings and try to apply them across the strings and also up and down on one string at a time. I think that's really the missing link with most players. We're going to talk about all of your 3-note per string scales, whether they're major scales, minor scales, whole tone, and even diminished scales. I mean, all those kinds of things come into play. And I'm going to talk about how to superimpose different scales together over a progression. We're going to also look at being able to look at an arpeggio in a position. And we're also going to be able to say, how do I play out of the scale right in that position? So linking scale and arpeggio is going to be key for coming up with a lot of your theory mastery abilities. So the guitar is an endless fascination. I mean, I think what's always difficult about guitar is you can find the same note 4 or 5 places, where if you look at a piano, that doesn't work that way. It's only one place to play that note in that one octave. And piano is very visual. It's a white key, it's a black key. Once you learn all of your chromatic scale and you know the notes in that scale, it's very easy to visualize. But let me tell you this, guitar can also be that way. Guitar can also be that way. You just have to visualize that note on a fret and on a string. So start today. Any note that you know, just go back and say it. If you know major and minor scales, play the scale and say the notes at the same time. Practice moving that fingering to another fret and really start looking at what you're playing. And then I hope to fill in the blanks for you. Thank you very much. I'm looking forward to working with all of you guys. Cheers.